Voilà. Darako TV, ça va être le nom de la partie. Mode histoire, vivre l'histoire sans stagiaire. Non, le mode normal, hein, le mode conseillé. Bonjour monsieur. Oh mon dieu, il n'y a pas de signal, c'est horrible. Ce que je craignais arriva. Il y a... Attends. Il y a Téné en live et il y a Darako en live. Et dans 1 heure, il y aura Xela en live. Yeah! Assume tes choix. Alors par contre, attends, faut que je vérifie un truc parce que l'affichage sur ma télé, il est dégueulasse. Pourquoi? Jour 1, les élections. Ah, attendez. Ouais, bah, visiblement, mon application télé ne fonctionne pas. Bon, pas grave.
Hi, David, I have a call for you. I'm just putting it through. All right, mate. Dave here. Listen, I know you've only come in to clean up the place, but I've been a bit caught up, so you're going to have to run the news tonight. Now, don't worry. It's not hard, and I'm going to stay on the phone and help you. First, I'm going to give you a quick tour of the broadcast room, so if you're not doing it already, look forwards towards all those screens.
Ah, du coup, c'est QWERTY, attendez, voilà. Gâteau à vendre, où ça? Ah oui! Cake sale. Ah oui, je veux du gâteau.
Right, look up at the top. That coloured bar is your audience.
Ok.
You want to keep the viewers going up and not down. Underneath that, you've got the screens. The one on the right is the broadcast screen. That's what the viewers are seeing at home. It's only a couple of seconds behind the master screen there in the middle. That's the one you control. Now the 4 small screens on the left show the different signals coming from the studio, and you can choose between them using the numbered buttons on the vision mixer at the bottom left.
Oui, ok, oui.
I'll talk you through it and you'll pick it up in no time.
Oui, oui.
Have a look to your left.
J'ai oublié de faire un truc. Ah, attendez, 2 minutes. J'avais dit que je ferais un truc. Étant donné qu'on est à la télé, mais bien sûr. Alors attends, où est-ce qu'il est? Non, attends. Lequel est le mieux? Radio AM ou station FM? Station FM. Alors attendez, qu'est-ce que ça donne si je mets station FM? J'essaie de m'écouter. Ouais, voyons voir. Blablabla. Pas ouf. Si je mets radio AM plutôt. Si je mets radio AM, qu'est-ce que ça donne? Je m'écoute là. Ah, c'est un peu mieux. C'est beaucoup mieux. C'est beaucoup mieux. Ok. Ok, c'est bon. Reprenons. Pause technique, veuillez patienter, c'est ça. Tourne-toi vers la gauche, ouais. Oui. Allez, on allume le télérupteur. Oui. Voilà. Oui. Ok, des pubs. Neil frappe à dingue. Ma salade hebdomadaire. Et des exercices avec four saucisse. Let's go. Oui, 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 oui. L'écran, ah, ok. C'est parti. Allez, on va essayer d'obtenir un très bon score. Il tente de censurer le monde.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight.
Okay,
Ouais.
we're all good. Next thing is going to be to throw the news titles on screen too. There'll be a countdown, but I'll count you in as well. Just relax, mate. It's all gravy.
Buys honest
Okay.
Andy's totally independent and corners the flowered market.
Il faut être prêt.
Chat. Sports fans everywhere celebrate as popular footballer Johnny Hamsleeves wins Sports Personality of the Year.
Ouais.
And a spoonful of sugar. Megan will be chatting with movie star Lawrence Blunderclatch about his new movie,
Oui.
Medicated. And, of course, we'll be going live to
Continue de
advance
parler, hein.
headquarters to hear what the leaders of this fledgling party have to say on their historic
Right. Button
4,
2 in
3,
3,
national news.
1.
1.
Now, lovely, mate.
Voilà, c'est bon.
Next thing is to throw back to Jeremy with button 1 when that globe in the middle shrinks down and vanishes.
Ok, c'est parti. Ok, faut se préparer. On voit le futur. Ouais, bah on voit on voit en fait la diffusion instantanée. Parce que on voit les gens directement.
Here it comes.
Allez.
Switch to screen 1. Lovely, mate.
Voilà.
But first, the votes are in and it's a decisive win.
Et c'est parti.
for advance.
We often get a bit of interference around this time, mate. Keep your eye on the machine at the bottom right. Use that slider that's flashing or your scroll wheel to move the wave up and down, keeping the green bit in the white
Ouais.
But critics have accused him of a severe lack of
Attention aux
active
interférences.
voice and of being deliberately vague. The opposition parties have all conceded defeat to Advance's
Ouais, je vais plutôt utiliser la molette, hein, c'est
but
plus
have yet
simple.
to appear publicly. However, former Home Secretary
Right, it's going well. All you've got to do now is play the advert at the end of the segment. Make sure you don't play it too early or we'll all get fired.
Ok, oui.
Now the clock at the top is counting you down to the advert. When it reaches 0, press one of the 3 play ad buttons over there at
Okay.
the bottom right. I normally play the first one and the first break and so on, but you can play them in any order you want. I'll count you into it as well, but keep your eye on
Ne
the
t'en fais
clock.
pas, je garde un œil sur l'horloge.
And 3, 2, 1, advert.
1 minute back,
Voilà.
everybody. Jeremy, I need you to fill after this.
Vive la pub.
why?
Wanker Snatch is running late. Oh, I thought I'd ask him about the election.
Personally, I wouldn't try to confuse him with any big words.
That's the same policy we use with you. I thought that was our little secret. That's all right. He doesn't
Alors, vous avez un secret?
I'm deeply uncomfortable with your burgeoning friendship.
Me too.
L'amitié naissante, let's go.
Wicked. We've made it to the first
Okay.
ad break. You're doing great, mate. But this
Troisième
last
bonne année.
stuff's getting a bit trickier. This next sequence is what we call a multicam sequence because you're going to be cutting between multiple cameras to keep things interesting. A lot of it's down to personal taste, but here's 3 good
Je
rules of
t'écoute.
thumb. 1. Try and keep the shot on
Ouais, je te
whoever's
comprends, ouais.
talking.
Le vendeur de canapé trop joyeux, mais
Don't
j'adore sa
stay
moustache,
on the
ouais.
same shot for too long. 10 seconds at the most. So if you're on the person who's talking, try and throw in the odd reaction shot or pull out to the wide shot for a bit just to keep it interesting. 3. Don't stay on reaction shots for too long. A couple of seconds is usually enough. Then the audience want to see who's doing the talking, yeah? Stick to these rules and you'll be fine. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You've seen programs on television, haven't you? Make it look like those.
Allez.
Might as well get screen 1 selected now. No need to wait for the broadcast to start. Try and stay ahead, mate.
Oui, bien sûr.
We're
Donc
coming
là, il y a 4 écrans à gérer.
quiet in the studio. Thank you so much.
Voilà.
10 seconds, everybody. Going in 5, 4,
Il est complètement full, mec.
3.
Il est complètement frappadingue, lol. Il n'y en a que 2? Ah bah.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later, we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance. But first
Get
up,
ready to go to Megan on screen 4.
is here with the star of both stage and screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolf, culture correspondent. And today I have a guest who starred in everything from Shakespeare
Right,
to
go to
the
Blunderclatch on screen 3 when she says his
joined
name.
today by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for coming.
Ouais,
Oh,
c'est
my
bon.
dear, I do hope you believe me when I tell you that being with you here today is among
Switch to 2 for the wide now.
Ah, c'est bon.
May I say having you here with us is among ours.
Right, now just try and stay on whoever's talking.
Latest movie, which
Okay.
is called The Medicated.
the medicated. Yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, as I
Eh,
said,
je suis mouillé.
that's Peter Jensen, the director.
Give us a look at Megan's reaction. Lovely. Now back to Thunder Twat.
I've worked with him on several movies. All
J'ai anticipé ce qu'il m'a dit.
I said to Peter, what a wild ride this has been. And you know what, Megan? I really meant that.
Wow, that is fantastic. And am I right in saying that the character you play in this movie is
Un
quite an
raz-de-marée.
academic one?
Absolutely right. A scientist.
Was that a challenge at all?
What exactly are you implying?
Ouais, ouais.
But seriously, yes, you're right. It was a complete departure from my last
Bon moment, Gère.
starring role when I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in Bullet Man. You'll remember that was
Ah,
the
la
true
tronche.
story of one soldier's fight for a love that surpasses all others. A love, of course, for freedom. I think it's grossed over $1 billion, but honestly, who's counting?
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 Best Actor awards, if I remember correctly.
It's so sweet of you to mention it, but I really am not in it for the awards, although those 3 little statues do
Je suis pas ça pour les récompenses, mais j'ai 3 statuettes.
With all the others, I'm sure. So, if you're not doing it for the awards, what is it then that drives you?
That is a beautiful question, Megan, and not easy to answer. Like you,
C'est facile de gérer un stream, hein, vous avez vu.
cut me, and I will bleed. And often, that's how it feels,
C'est comme ça tous les jours que je fais. Hein.
doesn't it? Bleeding, giving, suffering for one's audience. I suppose in the end, I do it for the difference in things. I do it for the people that I inspire.
Maîtrise, on dirait que c'est son métier. Tu fais quoi dans la vie au juste? Streamer.
Most of all, I think I do it
Sinon,
for the
je suis
change
technicien
that
logistique
brings
SAV, mais rien à voir.
And today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election result?
On lui a posé une question sur la politique. Oh là, honteux.
Well,
Pas
now
bien.
we're asking. Historic election result. Indeed, historic is the word. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Very difficult.
Il faut jamais.
I've always been quite clear that when it comes to politics,
Moi, je cherche un boulot en
one
bibliothèque,
should
médiathèque.
always strive
Ça peut être pas mal, ouais.
to not fuck things up.
Shit, he swore. Oh, well, don't worry, he won't do
J'ai
it.
censuré.
Shit, he did it again. Okay, don't panic. I'll explain how to deal with
Ah, par contre, j'ai
swearing.
pas censuré l'autre. Oups.
Which opens next week
Right,
around
they've swapped the shot of Jeremy on screen 1 for a VT of the movie clip. You'll get a countdown on the screen, but I'd just let Megan cue you in.
My character, Dr. Lance Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
exciting
Ouais.
stuff. Let's take a look. Exciting stuff.
Let's go.
Cool, looks like Blunderclatch is losing it in the studio, but we ain't got time for that. There's more interference coming. It's a bit trickier this time, mate. Use that
Là,
little
faut que j'utilise le stick clignotant.
joystick to the left of the knob, or hold down your middle mouse or Alt on your keyboard, and as the frequency changes, match it to the white
Yeah.
bit by dragging right.
You think I don't know that?
Now we're going to squash the frequency back by dragging left.
Nolans, we mustn't.
Et...
Think of Carol.
That's Dr. Lance to you, Miss Flanagan.
Je fais ça avec mes streams, hein, si jamais. Hein.
Jubbly, mate.
For you, baby.
Next, we're going to change the amplitude. Same as last time. Little joystick or hold Alt or middle mouse, and this time push upwards. Upwards, mate. Upwards.
But I didn't listen.
C'est comme ça que vous avez des streams de qualité, bien sûr.
You said?
You need to see this.
Right, now let's match it back by going downwards.
The virus. The sterility. This formula. This is the key.
We can stop it all.
Bloody perfect, mate.
Ok.
We have to ask ourselves.
At the end of the clip, you'll want to play another ad. Remember to use the clock at the top to count you in.
Ouais. Ouais. On va lancer la pub 2.
Right, I guess I better
bon.
explain how to deal with bleeping out swear words. As you've
Ouais,
probably
ouais.
noticed, the
On
broadcast
apprend à
screen
utiliser le bouton de censure.
is about 2 seconds behind the master screen. Here, when someone says a naughty word, the bleep button lights up, like this. 2 seconds later, you'll hear that swear word going out on the broadcast, and you need to hold down the bleep button or the space bar on your keyboard for
Là,
as
pour le coup,
long
j'utilise
as
le
the
bouton
swear
espace, ça,
word
c'est beaucoup
lasts.
mieux.
It can take a bit of practice
J'ai une note de segment A+. On est trop fort. Bon alors est-ce que ça fonctionne Twitch sur ma télé? Ça fonctionne. Attends. Par contre l'affichage est toujours aussi dégueulasse, tant pis. Ah oui, attends. Ouais. Vous voyez, ça c'est un vrai stream, il y a de la pub. Ouais, ok, c'est bon. Ouais, ça fonctionne comme ça. Mais je préfère sélectionner directement.
Welcome back. And I'm told we can now go live to Advanced Headquarters, where the two leaders, Peter Clement and Julia Salisbury, are about to make their acceptance address.
Oh shit, he's pissed.
Shall I start?
Go for it, Pat.
Shall I start? Okay. Well, thank you all for coming, and well, where do I start?
Monsieur dame,
What?
par contre il est bourré.
They said we couldn't do
They
it.
certainly did.
They used every dirty, low-down, lying southern bastard trick they had against us. But you,
Voilà.
you saw right through their shite.
I'm sorry about the language there.
Sorry about that. I've had a couple of celebratory pints. Makes me coarser than a grown-is fanny.
Et
Admirably put.
il peut pas s'en empêcher, hein.
But to be honest, who can blame Peter for celebrating? Throughout the campaign, you've heard us say that Advance are not a political party. A party is what you have when things are going well. When the country is suffering, you don't need a party. You need a team. A team that can change things. But today is day one of a new future. A better, fairer future. So perhaps we should all be celebrating.
Except for the rich. For them, the party's over. They shouldn't be celebrating. They should be putting their shitting pants on and opening their dusty checkbooks.
Callously put, but not inaccurate.
Je peux pas, je suis juste un peu pas ça, ouais. C'est ça.
To pass the Assets and Wealth Act.
Ouais, bonjour.
At the tax office, we have produced a definitive list of every person in the country with wealth into the millions.
You know this sort of... Probably you rather you don't. Because the likes of you and me are not welcome in their gated communities.
Tomorrow, we will be introducing a sweeping reform of the tax system in this country. No more hiding wealth offshore,
Ouais, vas-y.
trust funds or creative accounting. A simpler, fairer, unavoidable set of tax laws.
So, all you bastard public school snobs have got nowhere
Voilà,
to
c'est
hide.
fait.
And earlier today, we revoked your passport. You want them back? You want to leave like you threatened before the election? That's fine. But first, you're going to pay up. You're going to pay back.
Rendez l'argent.
We're going to turn this country from a nation of warring individuals into a team. To properly fund health and education. To raise the living standards.
Bien politique tout ça.
The pundits said we'd have to raise billions. But you'll see when we've reclaimed what's ours, that's absolute ferret shite. So to you posh twats.
The people who pay you a pittance to serve them drinks in their private clubs. The people whose children you raise.
So they've got time to get even fucking richer.
Advance have this to say to you.
It ends today.
We are coming for your sports cars and your mansions and your vineyards.
It ends today.
We will put the wealth of this country back where it should have always been, in the hands of the people who created it.
It ends today.
Yes, it ends today.
Ça gère.
And tomorrow, we'll start making it fair again, just like we promised we would.
And until then, ladies and gents, I suggest we all get pissed.
I can't argue with that. Thank you for your time.
Allez, c'est parti.
Well, an interesting acceptance speech there from the leaders of Advance, and our apologies for the fruity language. Hopefully, we got that bleeped out for you.
Oui, j'ai tout censuré, mon gars.
If not, someone's going to be in trouble.
Non, t'en fais pas.
So, as the country braces itself for new government, that's all from us this evening at the National Nightly News. We'll be back tomorrow.
Alors, je me demande, est-ce que le son ça va ou faut que j'augmente un peu le jeu?
Have a peaceful night.
Right, looks like you've got it.
Ok, c'est bon.
Thanks for all the help, mate. I've got to go. Ferry's about to leave. Probably won't be coming back. Job's yours, mate. Good luck.
Old boring politics then.
Johnny for saucisse.
Some weird fever dream. Am I dying now or something?
You should be so lucky. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Not coming for a drink?
No, got a date.
Lucky you. Try not to get murdered.
Diffusion terminée, salle de défi débloquée, continuez. Note de segment A+, let's go.
When the program's finished, you'll get a broadcast report.
A+,
First page shows you how well the broadcast went. Each sequence and an overall
On est
grade. Remember,
trop bon.
grades mean bonuses, and they keep the boss happy. If you want to know more about how it went, select more info. If not, select continue to move to the next page.
Ok, plus d'infos.
Right, this is an optional section for when you really want to understand what happened during the show.
Alors certaines grossièretés ont été diffusées, ouais, bah, une seule, hein. Une émission sans interférence, un montage formidable. Voilà ce que j'appelle du talent. Facile, oui là c'était le niveau facile après, hein. Et forcément que ça va se corser, et je suis qu'au niveau normal. Vous avez reçu un bonus généreux. Fortune actuelle, pauvre et fauché. Ouais, donc là, en dessous, ce sont les parts gagnées. Bien évidemment, comme pour le moment, je n'ai pas d'action sur rien du tout, ça me rapporte rien de plus. Mais par contre, ça permettra du coup de diffuser les pubs en fonction de avec qui on a nos actions. Non seulement tu es pauvre, mais en plus tu es fauché. T'es vraiment dans la dèche, t'as vu ça? Bon, visiblement, le patron m'aime bien. Et niveau situation politique mondiale, ça a l'air d'aller. Ouais. Ah oui, c'est vrai. Vas-y. Vas-y, celle-là.
In a few moments, we'll be going live to tonight's National Nightly News. But before that, let's take a look at what's coming up later.
Ce qui est bien, c'est que... Attends, on peut avancer. Merde. Ce qui est bien, c'est que on peut revoir toutes les missions qu'on a faites et voir comment on s'est démerdé. Alors, je veux juste revoir, alors un petit coup, le passage avec le politicard. La pub, bien sûr. Alors, regardez comment je passe la pub, moi. Je l'accélère. N'empêche, visuellement, je suis bien démerdé. Hein. Là, on est en accéléré, mais visuellement, je me suis bien démerdé. De toute façon, on m'a dit que le montage était nickel. Voilà. Vous voyez, c'est facile de faire du montage vidéo. Adblock moment, c'est ça. Encore de la pub.
Okay, well, thank you all for coming, and well...
Attends, je vais juste entendre les moments de censure.
What a day!
They said we couldn't do it.
They certainly did.
They used every dirty, low-down, lying southern trick they had against us. You, people,
je sais pas pourquoi, mais ça me fait rire.
Sorry about that. I've had a couple of celebratory pints. It makes me coarser than a granny's.
J'adore. Bon, bien évidemment, on va pas te regarder. Hein. Mais ce qui est bien, c'est que tu peux revoir ce que t'as fait et c'est vraiment drôle. Limite, je me demande si je poste. Non, j'allais dire, est-ce que je posterai des vidéos complètes que j'ai fait sur ma chaîne? Non, je sais pas, à réfléchir. Bon, planter le son de censure contre des points de chaîne. Faudrait que je pourrais le faire, mais il y a des choses à régler. D'ailleurs, juste pour aujourd'hui, j'ai mis que 3 récompenses perso. C'est parce que comme je vais pas beaucoup parler, j'essaie, comme je vais pas beaucoup parler, les trucs liés à ma voix, c'est compliqué. Voilà. Ah oui, c'est vrai que je peux revoir les publicités. Est-ce que oui, je peux voir toutes les publicités. Genre, en vrai, j'ai envie de les découvrir après. Je sais pas, est-ce qu'on les... Non, ouais, non, on va continuer. Mais par contre, c'est bien l'option de pouvoir revoir ce qu'on a fait. Comme ça, on peut faire de la merde. Et c'est rigolo. Genre maintenir le bouton de censure pendant tout le long de l'émission. Alors, tu arrives à la maison et trouves du courrier sur le pas de la porte. Comme d'habitude, rien d'intéressant, à l'exception d'une lettre qui attire ton attention. L'équipe souhaite mieux vous connaître. La curiosité l'emporte et tu l'ouvres. Il s'agit d'un formulaire provenant du nouveau gouvernement Advance et visant à collecter des informations sur tous les citoyens. La première page est pré-remplie. Nom Alex Winston. Conjoint Sam Winston. Enfant Charles, 14 ans, et Suzy Winston, 19 ans. Tu te dis qu'au moins ils ne se sont pas trompés. C'est manifestement à toi de le remplir le reste. Et apparemment ce n'est pas facultatif. Question 1. Si vous aviez un nouvel emploi, quelle serait votre attitude ? Je me montre aimable et je me présente à mes collègues. La productivité avant tout, je me mets immédiatement au travail. Je découvre tranquillement mon nouveau lieu de travail. J'évoque mes anciens emplois avec mes amis. Moi, en vrai, je découvre tranquillement mon nouveau lieu de travail. Pas besoin de se précipiter, il faut laisser le temps. Voilà. Question 2. Un ou une collègue d'un autre service vous confie avoir rapporté à la maison des informations confidentielles. Maintenant qu'un dossier certes peu important a disparu, vous aidez votre collègue à dissimuler son infraction, conseillez à votre collègue de se dénoncer, promettez à votre collègue de garder le secret, ou en informez votre responsable sur le champ. On n'est pas une poucave, mais en même temps, je suis pas d'accord avec ce qu'a fait mon collègue. Pour moi, je lui ai conseillé de se dénoncer. Après, il se dénonce ou pas, c'est ça son problème. Question 3. Tous les salariés d'un service ont été renvoyés aujourd'hui, après n'avoir jamais réussi à atteindre leurs objectifs. Votre chef a fixé de nouveaux objectifs nettement supérieurs aux précédents. Vous, quittez le travail à l'heure prévue, restez au travail pour respecter les délais fixés, partez plus tôt et allez dans un bar pour discuter de ces changements avec vos collègues, partez plus tôt et rentrez à la maison pour retrouver votre famille. Collabore contre une prime bien sûr et à voir combien le collègue paye. Lol. Non. Moi, je quitte le travail à l'heure prévue. Moi, de toute façon, je quitte le travail à l'heure prévue. Moi, c'est 18h, je quitte à 18h. Voilà. Question 4. C'est le barbecue annuel de l'entreprise auquel votre famille et vous avez été invités. Vous avez hâte de passer cette belle journée en compagnie de vos amis et de votre famille. Vous avez piscine ce jour-là. Je peux pas, j'ai piscine. Y allez si vous n'avez rien de prévu, sinon tant pis pour le barbecue. Avez travaillé dur avec vos collègues et avez la certitude que cette année, la première place du concours est pour vous. C'est le barbecue de l'entreprise. En vrai, ça va, hein. En vrai, passer du bon moment, je dis pas non, hein. Tant que je peux avoir des saucisses. Au terme d'une longue carrière couronnée de succès, il est temps de partir à la retraite. Dans votre discours, vous énumérez vos réussites et succès, ainsi que tous les bons souvenirs liés à l'entreprise, passez objectivement en revue les points forts et les points faibles de l'entreprise, vous concentrez sur les défis à relever et problèmes rencontrés au cours de votre carrière, vous n'allez pas à votre pot de départ en retraite. Bah, quand même, ils ont tout préparé pour moi, je vais quand même pas refuser d'y aller. Par contre, autant énumérer mes réussites et succès. Voilà, et les bons souvenirs. Question 6. Vous consacrez votre temps libre à vous détendre, à écouter de la musique ou encore au modélisme, assister à des meetings politiques à défendre vos convictions, mais qui fait ça sur son temps libre ? Encourager et soutenir vos enfants dans leur passion, ou jouer pour l'équipe sportive locale. La retraite, quand on pourra y accéder, elle n'existera plus. Parle pas de malheur. Moi je me détends. Hein. J'ai pas d'enfant, Osef. Votre destination de vacances idéale. Au plus près de la nature, dans un endroit où vous pouvez échapper au train-train quotidien. Un endroit dépaysant dans lequel vous pouvez explorer, faire de nouvelles expériences et relever de nouveaux défis. Une sortie bien planifiée dans un parc d'attractions pour faire le plein de sensations fortes en famille. Une île tropicale paradisiaque pour passer des moments romantiques avec votre conjoint. En vrai, moi je suis plus... Ah, j'hésite entre le parc d'attractions ou l'endroit dépaysant. Enfin, ouais, le droit des paysans. Voilà. Le gouvernement doit avant tout garantir aux citoyens leur sécurité, liberté, bonheur ou égalité. La sécurité en vrai, c'est vraiment ce qui est le plus important. En fait, les quatre sont importants, mais le plus important c'est la sécurité. Merci de votre coopération. Advance sait que votre temps est précieux et vous est reconnaissant de contribuer à mener la nation vers un avenir plus radieux. Signé ici. Ouais, surtout que le formulaire était obligatoire, je rappelle. Jour 6, une affaire de famille. Ok. Il est tard. Sam et les enfants sont déjà au lit. Tu essuies une tasse à laquelle tu tiens, un vieux souvenir rapporté de votre premier voyage ensemble. Le dessin s'est estompé, mais ce visage rigolo te donne toujours le sourire. Soudain, quelqu'un frappe à la porte, te ramenant ainsi à la réalité. Mais si tu as des enfants... Comment ça si j'ai des enfants? Dans le jardin, tu vois Chris, l'adelphe de Sam avec sa tapageuse valise vert fluo. Une fois à l'intérieur, Chris s'assoit à la table de la cuisine. Visiblement, quelque chose ne va pas. Chris inspire profondément. Pardon de débarquer à cette heure, Alex, bégaye Chris. Le jeu vient de dire que tu es papa. Oui, bah, Osef, hein, j'abandonne mes gosses, voilà. Pardon de débarquer à cette heure, Alex, bégaye Chris, mais j'ai besoin d'un service. Il n'y a qu'à toi que je puisse demander ça. Est-ce que ça va? Tu veux que j'aille chercher Sam? Non, inutile d'embêter Sam avec ça. C'est toi que je voulais voir. Laisse-moi juste 2 minutes. Tu as entendu parler de la loi sur les actifs et les richesses? Je te rappelle que je travaille dans le secteur de l'info, Chris. Chris tape du poing sur la table. C'est n'importe quoi. Ils prennent ce qu'ils jugent bon de prendre pour le distribuer à qui ils veulent. Aucun gouvernement ne devrait être en mesure de faire ça. Ils ne peuvent pas s'en tirer comme ça et c'est pour ça que tu dois m'aider. J'ai le sentiment que la suite ne va pas me plaire. Le regard de Chris ne décolle pas du sol. Bon, écoute, je sais que j'en demande beaucoup, mais je dois emprunter ton passeport. Mon passeport? Mais pour quelle raison? Ils ont pris le mien et celui de la moitié des habitants de ce fichu pays, mais il paraît qu'on se ressemble, alors... Chris fait les 100 pas. Je dois partir avant qu'il ne soit trop tard. Ensuite, mon argent et moi serons à l'abri, mais je dois m'enfuir avant qu'il ne bloque mes comptes. Je t'en supplie, si je te demande, c'est que je n'ai pas le choix. Alors, nope. Alors... Ça ne peut pas être aussi grave, il y a forcément un autre moyen. Chris en reste bouche bée. Tu plaisantes, n'est-ce pas? J'ai toujours bien agi envers Sam et toi. J'ai traité vos enfants comme si c'était les miens. Nous sommes une famille. Ça ne signifie donc rien pour toi? Je déteste ce genre de choix cornélien. Je suis sûr que ça va me retomber dessus plus tard. C'est illégal, je peux rien faire pour toi. C'est bon, je me débrouillerai sans toi. Elle est belle, la famille, tiens. Chris fait mine de cracher, agrippe sa valise, presque fluo, et disparaît dans la nuit. Tu retournes à ta vaisselle. En reprenant la tasse de Sam, il te semble que le visage écaillé plonge ton regard dans tes yeux. Tu as l'estomac de plus en plus noué. Yes! Vive la vie de famille, hein? Ah, voilà. Vous pouvez faire fi des écrans de chargement en inventant une machine temporelle. Let's go, je vais faire ça. Jour 8, les répercussions. Téléphone. Oh, bah. Il a l'air de s'amuser. Oui. Oui, oui. Voilà. Alors, on l'essaye, c'est certain que ce jouet ne représente aucun danger. Mister Kalinou, ok. Fonceur d'Advance. Jus de cochon. Jus de cochon. Ok. Bonjour, jus de cochon. Ouais, donc là c'est là que les choix vont être importants.
which is
Ouais.
0. But if you don't make any decision, you'll be fired before you even get to make
Voilà,
another
faut que je prenne une
choice.
décision rapidement.
I just want to say one more thing, mate. The pictures you choose to show of these people, well, that's how the public is going to perceive them, and that's going to affect their lives. So, like with the adverts, choose carefully.
Ok.
And we're off. Good luck, mate. If I get time, I'll call you back in the next break. Yeah, I'm coming, darling.
Tu prends du plaisir, hein?
Says theirs gets really hot.
Is this Janet who thinks dogs have their own secret language?
Yeah, the one that mistrusts the moon.
Alors l'écran 2 il est bloqué.
Everybody,
Not the best source of consumer advice then.
don't blame me when it explodes. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Time to go over to Jeremy Donaldson for tonight's.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
Bonjour.
Our main headlines tonight. Destination unknown. At the end of Advance's first full week in office, we ask exactly who's leading this.
Montrons un sourire joyeux.
I'll be discussing what the new future might hold with a leading economist and radical free thinker. With the Assets and Wealth Act on the brink of raising living standards for the vast majority of the country, I'll be asking my guess if we're on the way to a new future. Out with the old, Remington's Fist have appointed Sophia Remington as their new CEO.
Image positive.
The following photo, taken from our archive, gives us a sense of this influential young firebrand who, at the tender age of 23, becomes the youngest female
Jeune
CEO
PDG.
in history. Sophia Remington has always impressed. She was top of her class at university and graduated with the highest.
J'aurais dû mettre la photo où elle pariait. On va essayer de faire des bons choix quand même.
Responded favorably to Sophia's appointment, with stocks rising 30 points in light of the announcement. In her first press conference this afternoon, Sophia announced a children's toy named Mr. Snugglehearts. Sophia promises it'll be all the rage this Christmas, but concerns have been raised about the product's safety. Making a splash. Intrepid scientist Dr. David Wong and marine biologist Ingrid Swarsborg-Horgensford
Oh le nom.
today set off to explore Dante's taint. The recently discovered cave system was previously thought unreachable, but thanks to a new breakthrough in underwater flower technology, the pair hope to successfully reach the imposing central cavern and the undiscovered plant species it contains. This is, of course, only the latest in a series of successful expeditions for this unlikely pairing. In a joint statement about the dangers their team might face, the pair stated, "We will face the plentiful challenges together."
Let's go.
Playing the field, rumors abound as sporting legend Johnny Hamsleeves is snapped
Oh, alors, ouais, je vais mettre celle-là pour les hémétophobes. Parce que là, de toute façon, c'est un live plus 18, hein. Bonjour.
Johnny is seen here with socialite and performance artiste Tiffany Lamore, whose recent show, Snatched Inside My Snatch,
Plongé dans mon
has kept her
minou.
firmly in the public eye. Could romance be on the cards for these two budding A-listers? And Grievous
Par contre, j'espère que jus de cochon, c'est un parfum.
a radical new position on crime. How afraid should we actually be?
Entre de la sécurité.
I'll be going live around the country to talk with people who've seen the criminal justice system from every perspective. With more and more powers passing to the police and less oversight, are we using an advanced-shaped sledgehammer to crack a nut? All that, a mega move for the group of young actors already experiencing the positive side of the new Assets and Wealth Act firsthand. They'll be talking and performing later. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Let's go. Ah. Ça commence déjà. Oui. Voilà.
In the wake of the government's swift enactment of the Assets and Wealth Act, we're talking about Advance's first week in office and what the new future holds. Joining me are Katie Brightman, a leading economist, and Alan James, author of Alan James is Right, The Free Man's Guide to Waking Up. Alan, the government certainly haven't dragged their heels on delivering some of the legislation they promised. But what does the Wealth Act mean for us?
Nothing, Jeremy. We're still vassal slaves, we're just in prettier cages.
A confident dismissal there. Katie Brightman, do you agree?
I'm afraid I don't, no. I think that Advance have realised that
Okay,
the
c'est
current
bon.
economic system of
On gère l'audience pour le moment.
unending growth is untenable, so they're changing things up.
There I agree with you. They're moving to the next steps in the grand plan.
Grand plan, Alan.
It's all in my book, Alan James is Right. Jeremy. We're to become the great herd, ignorant, sterile, and short-lived. That's what they want.
Or perhaps Advance have just realised that if we carry on the way we are, we will destroy ourselves and this planet in a mad orgy of consumption, if you'll excuse the colourful metaphor.
Yes, orgy is the right word. Only it'll be the overlords having an orgy.
Faut pas que je change trop vite d'écran.
Alan James is
shamelessly self-promoting. Katie, how do you think the rest of the world will respond to this new approach?
I think they're watching carefully.
En fait, il faut que je change d'écran quand les deux écrans affichent le même écran. Moi.
The last Great War.
Yes, Katie's right. War is inevitable.
Thank you, but that isn't.
And this will not be a war like we've ever seen before. We're talking millions of deaths. We're talking high-tech weapons that can level entire cities. We're talking...
Out of the wrong orifices?
Mock me all you like, Jeremy, but when they murder your parents and they poison your food and they take you away to their camps for hypno-brainwashing, we'll be laughing then.
That might be a great way to sell books, Alan, but you know full well that isn't going to happen in a democracy.
Democracy is dead.
Yes, Advance are radical, and change is always frightening, but the truth is that the Wealth and Assets Act has made more than 90% of the population wealthier and is on target to produce a permanent end to poverty.
Bollocks! What this young lady doesn't understand, Jeremy,
Censure.
these are the same people. Maybe they've rebranded, but it's all a little circus act to keep us from seeing the tyrant behind the curtain.
That's where you're wrong, Alan. For a start, they've mobilised the youth vote like we've never seen before.
You say mobilise, I call it grooming. The grooming of an entire generation to walk into eternal bondage. They're like silent paedophiles.
But based on the facts, Katie, what are your predictions?
The Assets and Wealth Act is only the first step. Advance now have a historic budgetary surplus, and as well as properly funding our public services, they're already funneling unprecedented amounts into scientific research and the arts.
Or, as I call them in my book, Frankenscience and opiates. Like opiates, see?
Can we get back to the issue at hand, please, Alan?
This is the issue. It's all coming from the water, the chemicals. They're pumping it full of belief juice.
Don't get me wrong, I want to see
la théorie du complot, là.
they're sustainable. If Advance lose their power after spending half of our GDP on dismantling infrastructure, that could be catastrophic.
The catastrophe is that they're succeeding. They've got us sat here talking about their puppet show.
All right, we're running out of time. Quickly, Alan, what does the future look like to you?
A bleak space where we've all been figuratively sodomized into submission.
No, of course. Katie?
We might be on the eve of a brave new world.
Elle était un peu trop vite, je
We need
pense.
some change, but
Non,
we
c'est
need
bon.
to be cautious. Let's walk forwards with our eyes open.
Two very different visions of the future there. Alan James, Katie Brightman, thank you for joining me. When we come back, I'll be investigating
Ok, là on va lancer la pub.
before Megan meets some beneficiaries of the Assets and Wealth Act. That's all coming up tonight on the National Nightly News.
C'est parti.
1 minute back.
You know, I think they might do some good.
I hope so too, Jeremy.
How much are you being paid by them?
Monsieur Calinou.
Shut the fuck up, Alan. I've never heard so much shit in my life.
Well, we'll see who's full of shit, won't we?
Alan, I can explain it to you, but unfortunately, I can't understand it for you.
Eh ben dis donc.
Well, I don't know what she meant by that.
Note de segment A+. Oula. Bon. Et bien c'est qu'on peut rejouer les segments si on trouvait que c'était haché.
Oh shit, you will. She's good. You know she is.
I've said I put a word in, that's all I can do.
10 seconds, everybody. Little Jakey's scared of the big bad culture with butter.
If that sticks, I'll destroy you.
4,
Allez, de retour.
Welcome back. In our second segment, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the state of law and order in our country. Advance have already tasked what they are calling a solutions team to move this serious social problem to the top of the list. Tonight, we go behind the headlines to meet the people who live with the criminal justice system every day of their lives. First up, we have Gregory Judge, a lawyer who sees the problems close up on the front line. Can you hear me, Gregory?
Yes, I've got you, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
What's it like on the front line of the hard face of the cold hand of justice?
Well, as you can imagine, Jeremy, we are massively understaffed in this country. We're working every hour we can just to try and cope with the caseloads on our desks.
Which must affect the quality of support you can offer.
Well, we can barely keep up with demand, Jeremy.
Hola, bonjour.
There just simply isn't enough being done at a systemic level to relieve the problem. We need more support from ministers. What are you doing? We need change at a structural level,
I'm
Jeremy.
leaving, Greg.
Not a good time, darling.
It never is it? I'll be at my mother's.
Just hang on. No, the problem isn't a local one, Jeremy. It's nationwide. Just give me 5 minutes. I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson.
Oh, have you mentioned your affairs?
No. Well, the affairs of the Justice Department that we should be concerned about.
Hello, Mr. Donaldson.
Hello, Mrs. Judge.
We need legislation to relieve the pressure on our public
Sorry
servants.
to interrupt the news, Mr. Donaldson. Can I have a moment to tell my husband I'm leaving him?
Yes, I totally understand. Quite the picture of the burdened legal sector there. Gregory Judge, thank you for joining us. Next, I'm joined by Police Chief Constable Bob Peel, a man with a very different perspective on our nation's crime. Do you think there's a problem with the system, Bob?
I'm sure we all do, Jeremy. I'm sure
Ah
we
putain,
all
ça
want
commence.
to return to the days when you could safely walk the streets of your community at night, looking in through windows and generally enjoying your neighbours without the risk of being terrorised by some thug with a
Beaucoup d'interférences aujourd'hui. Hein.
or cosh.
So you feel the streets simply aren't safe anymore? Where have we gone wrong, Bob?
Well, that's not a simple question, Jeremy, but I think it all comes down to moral decay. We've diluted our culture and lost touch with what it means to be a citizen of this once great country. Also, as the vicar noted in Sunday's sermon, we probably shouldn't.
Il y a un pirate sur la ligne, oui. Bah.
And to what do you attribute this moral decay?
Foreigners, gays and gypsies mainly.
Oula!
It's all in the Bible. Look, Leviticus clearly states that... Oh, bugger, hang on a moment. Jeremy, bloody gimps escaped. Delia? Delia, could you give me a little help, please, dear? As I was saying, Jesus didn't like immigrants much, did he?
And just to be clear, you think it's the immigrants who are responsible for the moral decay?
Absolutely, Jeremy.
Je l'aime pas le mec.
Clive, back in your box. Delia, I really could use a little help with this.
Oh, sorry, darling. I was
Ah,
Yes, yes, I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson.
bloqué avec les interférences.
Oh, Clive, you know it's Wednesday. You go back in your gimp space.
And whose responsibility is it to make a change, Bob?
Well, it is certainly not the responsibility of the decent, good, white people of
Darling,
this...
where's the padlock?
Oh, hold on just a moment.
Oula!
Clive, this simply won't do. Naughty, naughty,
Je
naughty.
crois que ça tire du monde.
I am not having this again.
Mummy said, get back in your gimp space. No! Naughty, you beast!
La visioconférence.
Saying, Jeremy, moral decay. Crime is the responsibility of the criminal, no one else. Look, everyone has a sob story, but we don't all end up as barbarians, do we? Look, when our daughter Alice comes home with an A-, does she go on a killing spree? No, she takes 3 of her pills and hides under the stairs like a normal child.
Thank you, Bob. Bob Peel there, really locking down the police's position on morality for us. And finally tonight, hopefully uninterrupted, it's time to get to the heart of the matter. Tony Dawson has recently been released from prison after serving 3 years for aggravated assault, burglary, and menacing a swat. He's agreed to talk to us today, which is also, I believe, his birthday. Many happy returns, Tony.
Cheers, Jez. Call me Titwank Tony. Everybody else does.
No, I'm not going to be doing that. Can you tell us what it's like in prison, Tony?
Titwank Tony. Prison's a mixed bag. Structure's quite nice, but it's a constant battle against institutionalization, as you can imagine. And obviously, titwanks are quite hard to come by.
I'm picking up that you're not alone there, Tony.
Titwank Tony. Yeah, sorry, my friends are throwing me a surprise party.
Tu dois te calmer, mon gars.
Okay, well, we're trying to get back to that party as soon as possible. First, let me ask you this. Do you feel that your time spent in prison helped to rehabilitate you in any way, Tony?
Titwank Tony! I don't think it's as easy as that, Jez.
Sopen!
Yeah, I think asking that is an oversimplification.
It sounds like it's getting quite busy there, Tony, but let's try and soldier on. Since leaving custody, have you been able to find a new job?
Yeah, all the boys are here. Big Chris, little Chris, and Vampire Chris.
Beaucoup de Chris. Madame?
This one's, yeah?
Yep.
One sec, love. Titwank Tony's on the news. Rehabilitation's difficult with the current system.
Mais ils le font exprès.
It's not set up for it, you know. It's inherently unjust.
So, do you feel tempted to... I'm sorry, who's this guy?
You are joking. Chrissy Free Bollocks has only got Mr. Fancy, oh. Not now, fellas, I'm on the news.
Je veux voir ce passage.
It seems like we've caught you at a bad time.
The little boy.
Oh, I can't really hear you, mate. It's getting a bit busy here. Jesus.
Yes,
Ça
we
fait du monde.
seem to be losing the signal
No
there, Tony.
fucking way. Let's believe that.
Well, we're just trying to get that signal back. I think we... Yes, Tony? Tony, I mean, we were literally away for 2 seconds. How has this happened, Tony? Can you hear me? Well, we seem to have lost our train of thought there a little. Hopefully you, the viewer at home,
Je joue à ce jeu que pour le son de censure, forcément.
and complex issues around law and order. After the break, Megan will be live with some plucky young thespians. Don't go away. We'll be back after these messages.
C'est parti.
1 minute back, everybody.
Mate, I ain't got long and I'm quite drunk. It's been a great night. In this next section, there's a bit of music. If you edit in time with the music, you can see the result on the vision mixer, and the public will love that. Don't worry if you don't.
Ah, là, il va y avoir une partie musicale et il va falloir changer d'écran en rythme.
When the music starts, turn down the broadcast volume. Right, enjoy the music bit. God, I love music. God, I'm so pissed. I think I might go and throw up in a bit.
Va vomir dans une poubelle.
Look, it's alright, I've got this. I'm sure he's on his way. Come on, it's welcome back. How hard can it be? This is on you.
10 seconds, everybody. We're gonna open on Megan. Camera 2. Going in.
Ok, bon bah on commence sur la 2.
4, 3.
Welcome's Black, I'm Megan Wolfe, and on tonight's Culture Spot, I'll be chatting with one of the first beneficiaries of the Assets and Wealth Act, a team of inspiring young people from Scritchford Sixth Form College who today received a grant from Advance to take their play, Hey, Friendship, on a tour of local secondary schools. Welcome to you all. Well, let's start with you two, Harriet and Charlotte Winstanley-Hamilton. Girls, you must be thrilled.
We are, Megan. We're overwhelmed, to be honest.
And I believe you two are sisters, is that right?
Yes, Charlotte's my oldest.
I'm the older, more popular one. Only joking.
Harriet and Trey were really the ones who came up with the whole idea.
So, Harry and I were shooting the breeze in the cafeteria, and I said, hey, let's actually do something.
So I went to look for a drama teacher.
But she'd been laid off due to budget cuts. Fortunately, I directed a pantomime when I was at university, so I knew the ropes, as it were.
Right, yes, but you're the maths teacher, aren't you?
Yes, that's me, Jeff Algebra, maths teacher.
Maths is really
J'aime le prof de maths.
really important.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
As is theatre. It's one of the oldest art forms in history, Aristotle.
I just think that when we travel around all these
Comme elle se fait interrompre à chaque fois.
poor kids see us, they say, hey, I really want to be like those attractive kids. And that's a very beautiful and powerful thing. We touch our audiences, and they touch us right back.
I suppose with a surname like Algebra, there was really only one choice of career for me. My wife, Angela, and I, we often laugh about it.
Angela Algebra.
Yes.
Angèle Algebra, d'accord.
We just want to bring a bit of song and joy into people's lives.
And teach people about the difficult issues. The issues in the play are what really matter.
And I think you're going to be showing us an extract from this play, aren't you?
That's right. To put into context, I play a young first year who's having some troubles at school.
Her character doesn't actually have a name, yeah, because in a way she's like all of us.
It's like
Wow.
a metaphor. Maybe she's you at home, or like, maybe she's you, Megan.
Maths is really important. Yeah, thanks, Steve. Put it in, coach. Yes, thanks, Steve.
Les maths c'est important, je suis
I'm going to
d'accord.
have a little chat with your teacher while you run off and get ready. I can't wait to see it. That's it, that way. So, Jeff, when did you first hear about the grant?
2 days ago. A letter from Advance arrived at the school. Now, the headmaster thought it was all a prank, but his secretary retrieved it from his bin and brought it to me.
How? How did you react?
I also threw it in the bin. But then, Harriet and Trey rescued it, and they rang the number at the bottom of the page, and next thing you know, we're on tour.
Wow. Well, I think we can all guess which way you'll be voting from now on.
Do you know what? It's funny, because Angela and I don't usually vote. We're not very political. I'm a mathematician, of course, and she's a paraplegic, mainly. But we did used to watch that Peter Clements DIY show.
C'est avantageux d'avoir une femme paraplégique, du coup.
Why not? Let's have a go with this old democracy thing.
Okay.
And here we bally well are.
Good stuff.
Fucking brilliant!
So, let's have a look at a short section of Hey, Friendship.
Dear Diary, I'm not sure I can take another day at this school.
Toujours utile d'avoir une femme paraplégique sur soi.
Another day of tears.
Ouais.
Tears. Another day of fears. But still I walk the corridors alone. Alone. Dreading what might be around every corner.
What's around the corner? What's around the corner? What's around the corner?
Oh, hi Gary.
Oh heavens no! It's Gary the Fist!
Gary the Fist!
Going somewhere, little first year?
Great. I've been looking for some poor victim to bully all morning. But will this make me feel better about my violent father?
Violent father.
Excuse me, I'm late for maths. It's my favourite subject. And so important.
Maths is for losers.
What?
Maths is for losers.
My arm's stuck, coach.
Keep going, for fuck's sake.
Right, maths is for losers. Now, give me your lunch money.
Double lunch for
Jamais
me
qu'on se fait
today,
sérieux, c'est
but
vrai.
why I'm only truly happy when I'm eating?
Not today, Gary the Fist.
What do you mean not today? Who are you? My arm's free, coach.
Brilliant, keep going.
Right, who are you to stand up to me? I'm Gary the Fist. And you're just a sad little girl with two gay dads who's all alone.
That's where you're
Beaucoup de violence dans ces
Gary
mots.
the Fist. These are my two new friends. Vanessa is captain of the netball team. Yeah. And Blake owns a motorbike.
Blake and moto, let's go.
But I can't fight all three of you, and I don't have any friends of my own.
Take a look at me. Take a little look at my face. I could be you.
Ah, je pense.
And you could be me.
Sa voix allait pas du tout avec ce qu'il dit avant. Le cadrage, il était pas terrible.
Hey, listen up, I won't take no crap. Who said middle class girls can't rap? I ain't afraid of your cruel lads. I'm a mother-loving rebel, but I still love maths.
Bravo d'avoir cassé Wisebot. Non mais je pense que ça, la fonctionnalité marche pas. J'avais essayé de mon côté et ça a du mal.
Was hip, but the flats weren't great. My dad used to come home drunk and late, and he'd hit my mum and for dinner he had to wait. Oh, where's my dinner?
It's not ready.
Oh, where's my dinner, woman?
Go.
Don't make me ask you again.
Hitting women is wrong.
C'est vrai que c'est pas bien.
I guess life's pretty hard on a council estate. Life's pretty hard on a council estate. Life's pretty hard on a council
J'ai
estate.
déjà utilisé.
Life's pretty hard on a council estate. 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 It's so damn hard on a council estate.
Life can be peachy keen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you work as a team.
Just work.
En vrai, la chanson elle est pas dégueu. Hein.
It's your choice to be me.
It's my choice.
So stop now, make a different choice.
Listen to that inner
Bravo.
Well, thankfully that's all we have time for tonight on the
Comment ça, fort heureusement?
news. Join us tomorrow night for all the headlines from across the country. My name's Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peaceful night.
And we're out.
Et voilà.
Oh, that was
On a la max.
What the literal fuck was that?
I believe that was art.
Ah, jus de cochon.
I believe I've got a 14-inch cock.
Attendez.
Doesn't make it so.
So the new formula actively removes harsh chemicals from your skin. The high salt content actually pulls the dihydrogen monoxide right from your pores to give you the crisp, brittle skin you've come to expect. New Jus de Cochon will revitalize the appearance of the strength of your face's skin. 41%
Ah, j'ai débloqué le
of women
Téléthon.
surveyed said they loved their visible flakes, and 7 out of 10 dentists would recommend it.
Jus de cochon.
Jus de Cochon, because we said so.
Oh, j'ai tellement envie de prendre cette réplique et d'en faire une alerte de sub, ce serait tellement bien. Oh mon dieu. Ah, du coup, on a la max. Alors, attends, plus d'infos. Toutes les grossièretés ont été censurées, let's go. Une émission sans interférence, let's go. Un montage formidable. Eh bien, let's go. Allez, il faut que je prenne cet extrait-là, mais vraiment. Continuez. Vous avez reçu un bonus généreux. Fortune actuelle. Dette qui stresse. Ah. Alors, ok. On continue. Le monde va bien. Le patron est content. Attendez, attends, juste, c'était quel passage que je voulais voir? C'était avec Jimmy Branle-Mich. Attends, c'est celui-là.
Take a look at what's in store tonight on Channel 1.
Chargement, vas-y.
Kicking off our evening schedule is a retrospective of the best moments from Peter Clement's Just the Job.
Ouais, allez.
Prime Minister became so popular in the first place.
Mais franchement, j'adore la débilité de ce jeu. C'est vraiment con. Et franchement, ils ont vraiment dû s'amuser pendant le tournage. Hein. Et en plus, les acteurs, ils sont doués. Hein. Attends. C'était le passage Branle-Mich, mais c'était un passage particulier de Branle-Mich. Voilà. Cette discussion qui était... J'adorais le mec qui faisait sa promo toutes les 3 minutes. Ça, c'était drôle, je trouvais. Voilà comment je passe les pubs. Mais par contre, cette section où t'avais... à chaque fois, on avait... Lui, il est excellent. Avec la personne sadomasochiste coincée derrière.
Against institutionalization, as you can imagine, and obviously, are quite hard to come by.
I'm picking up that you're not alone there, Tony.
Tony. Yeah, sorry, my friends are throwing me a surprise party. Good bunch of lads.
Ah oui, non, mais le mec avec la maîtresse là. Il est en mode visioconférence, hein, c'est-à-dire pas de pantalon.
Help to rehabilitate you in any way, Tony?
Tony! I don't think it's as easy as that, Jez.
J'adore la censure. Le pouvoir.
I think asking that is an oversimplification.
It sounds like it's getting quite busy there, Tony, but let's try and soldier on. Since leaving custody, have you been able to find a new job?
Yeah, all the boys are here. Big Chris, Little Chris, and Vampire Chris.
Chris de vampire. Bonjour madame.
This one's, yeah?
Yep. One sec, love. Tony's on the news. Rehabilitation's difficult with the current system, Jez.
Mais par contre, je me demande si aux États-Unis ils branlaient. Oh là. Oh merde. Lapsus. Non, je me demandais s'ils censuraient en direct comme ça, en vrai. Avec du décalage. Ouais, c'était ce passage-là. Attends. J'adore quand il chante. Allez, on recommence. La chanson de la censure. Aux États-Unis, ils branlettent en direct, bien sûr. Mais oui, bien sûr.
Seems like we've caught you at a bad time.
The little boy.
Oh, I can't really hear you, mate. It's getting a bit.
Allez. On continue. Allez. Jour 15. Fin de soirée. Tu arrives à la maison après un long quart de plus au boulot et tu trouves un mot sur le plan de travail. Tu reconnais l'écriture aussi illisible que bâclée de Sam. Chris n'a pas payé le loyer et a perdu son logement. Tu sais ce que ça veut dire. T'aurais dû lui donner ton passeport, connard. Sam a dû aller récupérer les affaires de Chris dans la rue. Ne m'attends pas. C'est souligné 2 fois. C'est donc de ta faute maintenant ? En boudant, tu lances le film d'horreur que vous alliez regarder ensemble. Il te fichait vraiment la trouille quand tu étais plus jeune, mais maintenant il vous fait bien rire à chaque visionnage. Sans Sam, ce n'est pas pareil, mais tu glousses tout de même par moments. Alors que tu arrives au meilleur passage, lorsque Candy décide de mener l'enquête en solo, ton fils de 14 ans débarque. Il veut aller chez un ami. Il te regarde comme seul un ado peut le faire, d'un air important et rebelle à la fois. Tu le laisses y aller, s'il promet de rentrer avant 23h. Tu dis non à Charlie, il sait bien qu'il n'a pas le droit de sortir quand il y a école le lendemain. Allez, je le laisse y aller. Voilà. Manifestement surpris, il part sans demander son reste. Tu somnoles devant le film en attendant son retour. Lorsque le bruit blanc de la télé finit par te réveiller en sursaut, il est plus de minuit. Mais toujours aucun signe de Charlie, pas plus que de Sam. Il y a Cole demain et il n'a pas tenu sa promesse, alors tu te rends sur place et tu le ramènes à la maison Fissa. Tu es de mauvaise humeur, mais tu as la flemme, il va bien finir par rentrer. Non, on va le chercher. On a dit 23h, il n'est pas de retour, on va le chercher. En arrivant chez son ami, tu trouves ton fils qui, comme par miracle, se rend compte de l'heure qu'il est en te voyant. On ne te la fait pas, mais au moins il s'excuse, c'est déjà ça. Tu reconnais cet air canaille et espiègle si familier. Allez, ça passe pour cette fois. Voilà. Ça, c'est ce que j'appelle un bon choix. Jour 48. Un Noël au budget serré. Tu ne peux t'empêcher d'esquisser un sourire en regardant autour de la table. Dehors, la neige a recouvert l'herbe et les enfants ouvrent un cracker de Noël, tandis que ta vieille mère lutte pour ne pas s'endormir. Tu as toujours adoré la période de Noël. Désormais, c'est toi qui sièges en bout de table, à la place de Pat. Il régnait une atmosphère tendue cet après-midi. C'était palpable. C'est la première fois que vous revoyez Chris depuis que tu as refusé de lui fournir ton passeport. Un sacré changement pour Sam, tant ces deux-là étaient inséparables autrefois. Noël est généralement une période très agréable de l'année. Seul le bruit des couverts vient troubler le silence, alors que Chris te fixe avec insistance. Tu passes un bon Noël, maman ? Tu portes un toast ou tu ne dis rien ? On va ignorer la question et on va demander à la maman si elle passe un bon Noël. Ta mère te fixe d'un air absent et perdu avant de recouvrer ses esprits et de vaguement te reconnaître. Oui, merci Alex, je passe un très bon moment, murmure-t-elle. Tes absences sont de plus en plus fréquentes ces derniers temps. Seul le bruit des couverts vient troubler le silence, alors que Chris te fixe avec insistance. Je dis rien. Tu t'accroches, tu es sur le qui-vive. Sam lance, ce n'est pas le moment de parler de ça. Mais Chris poursuit énergiquement. Non, moi je crois qu'elle a le droit de savoir. Eh bien, Suzy, Alexa. Je dis rien. Chris se tient debout, visiblement ivre. Qu'est-ce que t'as dit, peste Christ ? Ça suffit vous deux, insiste Sam. Pardon, rien, oublions ça, voilà. Tu sais quoi, je vais te faciliter la tâche, crache Chris tout en se dirigeant vers la porte. Excusez-moi les enfants. Sam est également debout à présent. Oh bravo Alex, bien joué, dit-elle avant de suivre Chris et de claquer la porte. Aïe, les minutes s'écoulent dans le silence. Alors que le repas se poursuit dans un silence maussade, les légumes en conserve bon marché ont un goût particulièrement amer dans ta bouche. L'horloge sonne et tu réalises que cela fait pratiquement 10 minutes que tu mâches une bouchée de fade carotte gorgée d'eau. Intérieurement, tu remercies ta fille lorsqu'elle se met à te parler de son projet de voyage. On va visiter tellement d'endroits du monde et découvrir tellement d'autres cultures. Et comment comptes-tu financer tout ça ? Je me disais que vous pourriez m'aider, admet Suzy d'un air penaud en se grattant soudainement l'arrière de l'oreille. Tu soupires et parles à présent à voix basse. Tu sais bien que nous ne roulons pas sur l'or maintenant que mamie vit ici. Nous n'avons simplement pas les moyens de t'aider, Suzy. Allez, s'il vous plaît, les parents d'Harriet l'aident, elle. Allez, c'est d'accord, on trouvera bien une solution. Suzy a le sourire jusqu'aux oreilles. Vraiment? Trop bien, merci, merci, merci. Elle te serre fort dans ses bras avant d'ouvrir un cracker de Noël avec son petit frère. Leur grand-mère les observe avec fierté. Essaye de ne pas trop penser à comment tu vas trouver l'argent pour ce voyage. Tu te contentes de dire « Joyeux Noël, ma puce ». Je sens qu'on va le regretter. Jour 63. Une véritable aubaine. Fortune actuelle, vendre un rein. Tu feuillettes le courrier qui s'est empilé. Chaque facture supplémentaire te mine davantage le moral. Soudain, une touche de bleu t'interpelle. Tu reconnais le logo bleu canard d'Advance sur l'enveloppe que tu déchires aussitôt. Chère famille Winston, merci de nous avoir fait parvenir vos passeports. Nous en accusons bonne réception et confirmons votre inscription dans le cadre du nouveau plan de redistribution des actifs et des richesses. Avec un peu de chance, les disputes des dernières semaines avec Sam n'auront donc pas été vaines. J'ai bien fait de pas avoir donné mon passeport. À ce titre, nous avons le plaisir de vous... Il a l'air vachement joyeux et pas stressant du tout ton jeu. Oh. À ce titre, nous avons le plaisir de vous adresser un chèque que nous vous prions de considérer comme un témoignage non seulement de notre gratitude, mais également de notre détermination à créer une société sans inégalité. Sans la douleur causée par cette coupure au doigt due à la précipitation, tu te croirais dans un rêve. Un chèque, et d'un montant considérable qui plus est. Chris avait raison, Advance redistribue bel et bien les richesses. On s'en fout, on devient riche. Nous continuons de nous efforcer à faire progresser cette nation et améliorer le quotidien de ses citoyens. Avançons ensemble, Julia Salisbury et Peter Clément. Voilà qui pourrait atténuer vos problèmes d'argent. Quelle aubaine! Voilà! Pognon. Bien fait pour ta gueule, Chris. Un long week-end, jour 72. Fortune actuelle, les choses s'améliorent. Pourquoi la fermeture de cette valise fait-elle toujours des siennes? Cette fichue valise. C'est votre anniversaire de mariage. Chaque année, Sam et toi partez en week-end. Généralement au camping, vu que vous n'êtes pas plein aux as. Tu attends ça depuis longtemps. Enfin, un peu de temps, rien que tous les deux. Pas d'enfants, ni de travail, que des moments de calme, de paix et d'amour. La fermeture finit par se fermer et tu traînes la valise bien remplie jusqu'en bas. Sur la table de l'entrée, le témoin du répondeur clignote. Bon, alors... bon... je change ou... Attends. Bonsoir Alex, c'est Monsieur Boozman. Je voulais te prévenir que tu allais devoir travailler ce week-end. Oh, quel crève-cœur. De nouveaux éléments ont été révélés concernant les tensions grandissantes entre notre nation et d'autres puissances étrangères. Par conséquent, l'équipe de National 90 News va travailler jour et nuit pour avoir l'exclusivité. Il va sans dire que je compte sur ta présence demain matin à 8h pile. Passe une bonne soirée, Alex. Ok, du coup je remets, il était où? Là. Le choc fait place à la contrariété, puis à la colère. Que vas-tu dire à Sam? Ta conjointe te rejoint en bas, visiblement dans un état de surexcitation. Tout en t'embrassant, Sam prend les clés de la voiture dans le vide-poche et commence à charger les sacs dans le coffre. Ignore le message, ce week-end tu en as besoin. Tu te confonds en excuses auprès de Sam, mais tu dois vraiment aller au boulot, mieux vaut éviter de contrarier Boozman. La famille! On a pris ses congés, à bas les couilles! Message supprimé. Qu'est-ce que c'était? Entends-tu derrière toi? Rien de bien important, réponds-tu en prenant ton manteau tout en ressentant une montée d'adrénaline. Tu prends Sam par la taille et tu claques pratiquement la porte d'entrée. Autant profiter à fond de ce week-end étant donné que ça va te retomber dessus lundi. Voilà. Vive le week-end. Jour 75, un retour malvenu. Alors, fortune actuelle, les choses s'améliorent, c'est toujours la même chose. À ton arrivée au travail lundi matin, tes collègues épuisés te jettent un regard mauvais. Un mot écrit à l'encre rouge t'attend. Winston, je suis très déçu. Est-ce que ça en valait la peine? La famille en priorité, t'as le droit au RTT, exactement. Enfin, j'ai le droit au RTT si je les ai accumulés. Oh, voilà, c'était qu'un petit week-end, ça va. Une autorisation parentale, jour 98. Ton fils Charlie piaffe d'impatience tandis que tu lis. Tu te donnes à fond pour réussir. Tu es un membre actif de l'équipe. Tu veux récolter les fruits du travail réalisé en coopération, alors rejoins sans plus attendre les fonceurs d'Advance. Avançons ensemble. Il t'avait déjà parlé de cette maison des jeunes, mais ce n'est pas exactement ce que tu avais imaginé. Charlie reprend le prospectus et te tend un formulaire. Je pourrais y aller à pied directement après l'école et la sœur de Ben nous ramènerait en voiture. Tu n'aurais pas à lever le petit doigt. Bah, sinon. Voilà, si j'ai rien à faire. Allez, couilles. Ton fils est aux anges. Cela fait chaud au cœur de voir qu'il veut à ce point s'investir dans la communauté. C'est forcément une bonne chose, clin d'œil, clin d'œil. Ah, j'ai pas vu c'était quoi la fortune que j'étais. Allez, pour vous, c'est masqué derrière mon logo. Bah, tant pis. Alors, jour 110, un partenariat avantageux. Fortune actuelle aisée. Après une journée de travail qui n'en finissait pas, tu arrives à la maison et trouves à nouveau le courrier trié en plusieurs tas. Une récente habitude de Sam, pardon. Comme souvent, il n'y a rien de bien intéressant, hormis un courrier qui retient ton attention. Il y figure le logo de plus en plus familier d'Advance, ainsi que la mention « Urgent, réponse immédiate exigée » dans un rouge qui traduit parfaitement l'urgence de cette injonction. Il vaudrait mieux en finir avec ça une fois pour toutes. Au moins ça mérite d'être clair, c'est urgent. Chère famille Winston, par le présent courrier, nous vous informons que le gouvernement d'Advance vient de faire un pas en avant dans sa lutte contre les inégalités en nationalisant les plus grandes sociétés privées et en redistribuant leurs ressources aux citoyens de notre grande nation. Le programme d'obligation de partenariat nous permettra de nous assurer que le peuple ne soit plus spolié des richesses qu'il produit. Tu ne te souviens pas d'avoir lu ça dans leur manifeste. Chaque foyer deviendra partenaire d'une des 3 institutions soigneusement sélectionnées par Advance pour leur performance constante et leur sécurité financière. Veuillez noter que les retours sur investissement se basent sur l'opinion publique et ne peuvent par conséquent pas être garantis. Veuillez sélectionner une première société parmi les suivantes. V.O.D, Eye of the Beholder, Inc. Qu'il s'agisse de produits cosmétiques, de vêtements ou de haute couture, nous savons voir la beauté de tous nos clients. Nails Deals Ltd, on fait toujours une bonne affaire avec Nail Frappadingue. Plaisir Corp, nous sommes là pour vous faire plaisir. Qu'il s'agisse de sport, de voyage ou simplement de passer un peu de temps seul, impossible de dissocier le plaisir des loisirs. Plaisir Corp. Alors Plaisir Corp, c'est le logo bleu là. Ou Eye of the Beholder. Tu choisirais quoi, Kerber? Cosmétique? Les bonnes affaires de Nail Frappadingue? Ok, il était rigolo tout à l'heure, Nail Frappadingue, quand on l'avait pris. Ou alors Pleasure Corps pour le plaisir. Choisi. Alors attends, j'en profite pour vérifier quelque chose. T'as pas choisi, Kerber. Kerber, tu choisis pas? Je crois que t'es pas là du coup. Bon bah c'est moi qui choisis, hein, Plaisir Corp. Allez hop. Merci d'avoir fait votre sélection. Veuillez envoyer ce formulaire à l'aide de l'enveloppe fournie. Vous recevrez un rapport de vos partenariats dans 3... qu'est-ce qui se passe? Ah bah je t'avais demandé de choisir entre 3 partenaires. Bon bah voilà. Fortune actuelle dépensée parfois sans compter. Vous recevrez un rapport de votre partenariat dans 3 à 6 mois ouvrables. On dirait que même Advance ne peut pas vaincre ce fléau qu'est la paperasse administrative. L'avenir de cette nation est dans le partenariat. Avançons ensemble. Julia Salisbury et Peter Clément. Quelle influence auras-tu au juste sur les choses? En fait, je te demandais de choisir entre un partenariat avec des produits cosmétiques, avec le frappadingue pour les trucs, voilà, ou pour le truc du plaisir. Bah, mon partenaire et ton partenaire. Ouais, voilà. Jour 120, une ado rebelle. Tu sors de votre vieille voiture en silence. Alors que Sam claque la portière, tu grimaces en espérant qu'elle ne se décroche pas. Tu ne dis rien, ce n'est pas le moment. En t'approchant de l'accueil, tu te sens mal en point. L'agent de police te demande de patienter. Partenairons ensemble, let's go. Partenaire particulier. Soudain, après ce qui t'a paru une éternité, une policière au regard bienveillant libère ta fille. C'est une gentille petite, mais si on la reprend à taguer, on ne pourra pas fermer les yeux. Tu hoches la tête et t'excuses du comportement de Suzy, tandis que Sam prend dans ses bras votre fille encore sous le choc. Alors que tu lui serres la main, la policière baisse d'un ton. Assurez-vous qu'elle ne s'approche pas de ce garçon et tout ira bien. Oula. Dans la voiture, tu tentes d'aborder le sujet, mais Suzy reste muette comme une carpe. Au bout d'un moment, tu arrêtes de lui poser des questions sur ce garçon et tu te concentres sur la route. Des heures plus tard, tu contemples le plafond en te faisant un sang d'encre. Seul le silence qui règne dans la chambre te permet de savoir que Sam ne dort pas non plus. Qui Suzy fréquente-t-elle? Et à quoi joue-t-elle? Ni toi ni Sam n'arrivez à dormir de la nuit. Oula, ça sent pas bon cette histoire. Oh, par contre, je peux jouer le jeu. Jour 153. Ah, profite d'un montage sans stress en jouant en mode histoire. Non, le mode normal c'est bien. Jour 153, la tempête.
Good evening, Alex. It's Bozeman here, your boss. While you're powering up and getting the adverts loaded, I thought I should just tell you that we've had one of those public information films from the government, and it's mandatory that you play.
Ah, je suis obligé de diffuser ça. Faire examiner votre prostate, let's go. Là, va faire attention parce que là, ça va couper de temps en temps et j'aurai plus de contrôle.
Sorry, are you saying he chose his imaginary friend in the sky over you?
I don't know why I talked to you.
You're probably just a really awful date.
10 seconds.
Ils ont changé la DA, je crois. Bon, allez, c'est parti.
Pricks. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. Our main stories tonight.
Uncooperative. A mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on thousands of buildings throughout the capital.
Tonight, in an exclusive live interview with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, I'll be asking what this mysterious symbol might mean.
After 3 months of record-breaking approval ratings, could this be the daring first move of a silent resistance movement? And what does that mean as we go into the future?
We shall overcome. Trapped in Dante's taint for more than a month now, doctors Ingrid Svorsborg and Horgensvoord and David Wong announced today that they're considering 2 possible options.
With 2 of the finest minds in science working together,
S'échapper ou survivre. S'échapper, je
the
pense.
eventual return of the team to dry land.
While both options are still on the table, support seems to be growing for a daring escape attempt. If a group of fungus experts can't fix the most advanced craft ever conceived by man, then who can?
Bearing their opinions, the formerly rich are fighting back with a naked protest.
Oula.
Our very own Robin Short was on hand earlier today
Celle-là?
when this new protest group first presented themselves.
It might seem amusing to us, but clearly this formerly overprivileged section of our society is not adjusting well to the new future.
Oula, le vieux, il a l'air de se prendre, d'avoir du plaisir là.
Is thriving under advance.
Table for 2. Johnny Hansleaves and Tiffany Lamour were spotted having a private moment out at lunch today.
The popular couple have certainly been on a roller coaster since they started dating.
Johnny for saucisse, let's go.
And this image is sure to place them firmly back in the tabloids.
Could we be on the verge
La
of
demande en
the biggest
mariage.
celebrity wedding since professional wrestler Randy Grizzlenuts McFridge married his longtime tag team partner Tina Tiny Hands last year in a wrestling ring made entirely of cake?
Is this once celebrated role model about to become the bad boy of sport?
And onwards and upwards. In an attempt to put the Mr. Snugglehugs disaster
Okay.
behind them, Remington's Fist CEO Sophia Remington today announced
Ah,
a brand
jusqu'à les
new
news, c'était pas
that
bon.
already has the markets buzzing with interest.
This groundbreaking product came as quite a shock when it was revealed earlier today, though its critics are skeptical that the young CEO can fulfill her promises.
Described as a breakthrough far ahead of its time, the male contraceptive
La pilule contraceptive masculine.
revolution. Its fans
Oh.
are celebrating the fact that men can finally take equal responsibility for contraception, but others have expressed concerns over its safety and side effects.
Ah ouais, c'est une bonne idée.
Exclusive Prime Ministerial interview coming up later.
And our very own Patrick Bannon coming to you live from the first annual Sports Board final.
You won't want to miss a second of tonight's National Nightly News.
Ils ont changé le générique. Ah. Voilà. Ils ont pas respecté la règle de JDG.
First tonight, after the Christmas horror caused by Mr. Snugglehugs, we have an exclusive interview with one of the victims.
Poor 7-year-old Timmy Tadlock, like so many of those affected by the Christmas bloodbath, has spent the last 3 months undergoing a series of reconstructive facial surgeries.
Last week, joyfully, he spoke for the first time since the tragedy. Tonight, he talks to us.
Before we go to the interview, however, this station would like to issue a full and frank apology for any part we may have played in the tragedy. We should never have advertised Mr. Snugglehugs.
Oui, bah je savais pas, moi.
Publicity, the sheer scale of this tragedy, and now upwards of 8,000 casualties, might have been averted.
On behalf of the nightly news team, we're sorry.
In future, we will do better.
Now it's over to Robin Short at
Ma
the
faute.
Tadlock family home. Robin?
Thank you, Megan. I'm here with Mr. and Mrs. Tadlock and their 7-year-old son, Timothy. Thanks for spending time with us today.
Yes, well, you're bloody lucky we're spending any time with you at all, after what you lot did. Irresponsible. I mean, whose idea was this anyway?
It's all right. Wasn't your fault.
Oula.
As
Il
you
a l'air à
can
cran.
see, Megan, there's still a few open wounds here. I'll tread carefully. I'm going to speak to Timmy now. Hello, Timmy. Can you see me?
Mummy, who's that lady?
It's the lady from television, Timothy. She's going to ask you a few questions.
And you be careful now, it upsets him to remember.
Don't worry, Mr. Tadlock. I wasn't the youngest ever editor of the Swinstead Middle School Inquirer for no reason. So, Timmy, can you tell us what happened to you? You had just unwrapped Mr. Snugglehugs, hadn't you? Was he under the tree?
Yes, I could smell him already. He smelled like love.
Ah, yes, that'll be the fur. It's scented with hoof.
Parfumé au sabot.
Excited. I ran up to my room and gave him a big hug. He was so soft and warm.
Encore?
Like our cat. Before he got in the way of Daddy's Porsche.
Jolly cat had a death wish.
And what did Mr. Snugglehugs say to you?
He blinked his real action eyes and said, "You're my very best friend." But I sure wish Mrs.
Ah, t'as vu une
Snugglehugs
momie.
she can't be. They're just
On va dire ça, oui.
99. And then it's the general error. 41.
Erreur générale 41.
When he burst into flames.
Dommage qu'il a pas dit 42.
He exploded.
Oh, look, I've asked you nicely.
And am I right in saying that one of his real action eyes is now permanently embedded in your cheek? Yes.
Ouch.
When I took him in at night, it glowed.
L'œil coincé dans la joue.
I know it's under there, staring at me.
Yeah, some of the other children have started calling him Timmy Three Eyes. And
Ah, ça c'est pas drôle.
that's 5.
It's too many eyes, Robin. And what's the last thing
Ah,
you
mais ah.
remember before the darkness overtook you?
He looked at me with his one eye and laughed. Laughed as he burned.
It sounds very traumatic. Do you have nightmares?
Oh, right, that's
Moi je me demande comment ce jouet il a pu être approuvé sans avoir été testé quand même.
Trying to make a buck out of our suffering. I won't have it.
Et puis surtout, l'erreur 41, c'est une erreur qui est prévue. Et le truc il explose.
No, you had your questions, and now look. Oh, you've made him cry with all 3 of his eyes.
Calm down, you're scared. Do you think your parents will ever really love you again?
Right, that's it. Enough. Come on, Mr. Tadlock. Your poster, your favourite poster. Timmy, are you okay?
L'erreur 41, c'est laquelle? Ils n'ont pas précisé.
Just one of the many victims of an indescribable tragedy that has shaken our nation.
Thank you, Robin. Harrowing.
Oula, c'était...
And many questions to be answered by Sophia Remington in the coming days and months, I'd wager. How will she turn this crisis around?
So, Jeremy, what are the warning signs a consumer should look out for when they're spotting a dangerous toy?
Well, Megan, experts advise to always check for the new advanced mark.
Ah bah
which
forcément.
guarantee a level of safety and quality.
Yeah, can we just get a close-up on
La fameuse certification Advance, la fameuse certification des politiciens.
news mug? You should see the mark just on the base of it there.
In the wake of the scandal, the government were praised for their swift response in bringing in this set of stringent checks and new products.
It certainly is good to know that someone's watching out for our families. When we come back, our very own Patrick Bannon
On va essayer de faire de la pub.
the Sports Board Finals. Stick around, you won't want to miss it.
We'll be back after these messages.
Message Advance.
Oh, sorry, I'm bursting.
Ah, envie de pipi.
Megan,
Yes, she is.
watch your back, Jeremy. Women are coming.
I'm more worried about this water dipping onto my head.
Reality. Well, it doesn't have to be that way.
Alex, Boozman, we're getting reports in that naked protesters might try and spoil the sports board final by waving their fleshy bits about. Try and make sure you don't broadcast it. It's 6 p.m. for God's sake. No one wants to see
Il va y avoir des tétés et des zouzous. Faut que nos politiques fassent gaffe à notre nourriture quand même. Ah oui.
At the end of your stay,
Imagine.
you'll pass on painlessly, surrounded by those you love, in comfort and luxury. Isn't that
Que
what
des
we
paroles
all
rassurantes.
deserve at the end of a life well lived? Our expert legal team will help you make all those difficult arrangements, and our aftercare team will help your dependents through the grieving process, ensuring your final wishes are carried out efficiently and compassionately. All
Hey.
Want to see us fry? It's good for the ratings.
5, 4, 3.
Cet écran-là.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolf. Coming up later, we'll be speaking to the Prime Ministers about their exciting new healthcare facilities, transition centres.
Nice to see they care.
You're absolutely right, Jeremy. But first, we're going now to our own Patrick Bannon, who's reporting live from the finals of the new game that's gripping the nation, Sports Board.
Le Bidule Ball.
That's right, Megan. You join me live here from the final of the first annual Sports Board Championship. It's been a hotly contested competition so far. I think it's fair to say these two have been dancing around each other all season. First up, we have Eddie Striker. She's the more experienced of our two players today. Striker has got an accuracy of 7, a danger rating of K, and a 12-month driving ban. Striker's known for her signature move, the Orangi hamster.
Suspension de permis de 12 mois.
Facing her tonight, hoping to prove himself with a career record of 12 outs, 14 finishes, and a divorce pending. It's Mr. Wingspan himself, Tommy.
Attends, l'arbitre vient de lui coller une baffe, je rêve.
Just waiting on the ref now.
Bonjour Patrick, votre moustache est superbe, j'avoue.
Still going on. And, Striker, of course, first to start as she won the trivia round earlier on by some margin. Harris, perhaps the brawn and not the brain. Stupid. Eddie Striker. Nice start there from Striker. She's determined not to let the nerves show. Not up to last time. On to Mr. Harris now. Tommy. Using his arm to pick up the ball.
La violence, tellement.
Not a bad shot there from Harris. Back to Striker for shots number 3. All right. She's gone to sort of throw her legs. Not bad if you ask me. Is that contact? Don't know why you complain. To Harris. Bit of business with the ref, but it got sorted out. Back to Harris now. A ball in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
Football, move back.
I'd say that's fair, but what do I know? Oh no, and Harris is not going to be happy with that. So really not a good start there for Tommy Harris in round 1. We can only hope that round 2 treats him a bit better. But first, of course, after the argument with the ref section,
c'est n'importe quoi, ce sport.
Now we have the ceremonial changing of the ends. And of course, now they go back to the starting positions, as that makes sense.
Un changement de position, mais ils reviennent à leur position de base.
Second round, Winter round 2 now with Harris. Okay, we seem to have some sort of streak on the pitch.
Oh, ah.
Doesn't we broadcast any of that stuff? She appears to have
Oh là.
across her breasts and arse. Try and ignore all of that security. I'm sure we're going to take them out as soon as possible. Apologise if we broadcast any of that. As I said, we're going to get the situation resolved as soon as possible. They're trying to carry on play, but it's proving a bit difficult, and I'm struggling to follow. Because it's quite an eyesore, and women's bodies, yeah.
Oula.
Great. Okay,
J'ai pas compris le sport là, faut pas comprendre. Par contre, j'ai compris qu'il y avait des personnes à poil.
Eddie Striker. No, it's just some of the tightest play I've seen ever.
J'ai rien compris. Regardez cette réaction là.
And was that a fitted thumb screw? We haven't seen that since the heat. What a brilliant move. Back to Striker. And we know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, the ground sound. Excellent bit of play here on both sides of the bucket.
N'importe quoi.
I don't know about you.
Oh, ça tronche, j'adore.
Mastering display here. Absolutely blooming jaw-dropping. The ref has spotted something in Harris's neck.
On avait une dominatrice plutôt.
And Harris is having an absolute shocker. What a miserable start there for Tommy Harris. But he is a late bloomer, of course, we've always said that. And after all, it is a game of two halves. 4 rounds and 7 subgenres. But now, of course, it's time for the half-time show. Sponsored by Remington's Fish.
On my whistle, on my whistle.
Nice piece of music here to start the half-time show. Okay, another posh protester loose on the court here. We can only apologise for that. We'll do our best to shield you from having to look directly at it. Running around
Alors faut que je fasse attention de ne pas montrer qu'il faut pas.
And ruining what was shaping up to be quite the dance interlude there. Now he's thrusting himself in Harris's face.
Oula! Hop là!
I cannot stand it when the bucket gets knocked over. Hopefully he'll get taken out now.
Merde! Mais oh putain! Là j'étais en train de perdre l'audience.
And out of there, hopefully taken away, never to be seen again.
Casse-couille.
Boy cannot be in the final pose.
Alors pourquoi je suis sûr qu'un mec a pas attirer les gens? Bah le problème c'est que non. Ça fait perdre la réputation à la chaîne. Et que fait la sécurité aussi? J'avoue que 2 fois.
Not bad. So that ball boy's giving me the eye all day. I don't know what's going on there. Striker there, not a great start. She looks a bit flustered, I think, after all that swinging around. Back to Harris here. God, what I wouldn't give to be that ball. Am I right, ladies? Tommy Harris. Tommy Harris. And it dribbled down his arm, which is actually
Ouh, bah alors bien joué!
down his arm and goes on the floor. It's not going in the bucket. Back to striker.
Le but c'est de pas mettre la balle.
Striker's gone for the animal bonus there, but of course, perhaps. And yes, Harris has counted with a tiny bell. That is wonderful play. Of course, we've seen that before. Look at her face. She is absolutely gutted. What a
C'est une finale, hein.
that could have been the clincher. What a massive shame.
Il doit vraiment s'amuser à chaque fois.
Harris to serve now. Harris, of course, undefeated by Kestrel in his last 4 battles. So, here we go. Tommy Harris. Tommy Harris. That's all right. That's all right. Not bad there. He threw it quite far away from him, which is quite a good idea. Very clever there. Perhaps a little contact, a caution from the referee, who's being, if you ask me, a little bit harsh. Ellie Striker. Ellie Striker. And she's let the nerves get to her. What the hell was that? You hate to see it.
Elle a mis dedans.
Believe it. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, like.
Oh merde.
I don't know what I can be doing about this. I mean, sort of.
Heureusement c'est flouté. Hein.
I mean, there's only so much I can do. They're sort of everywhere, aren't they? All right, I'll try and carry on. The players are trying to carry on, but of course it's difficult because these.
J'ai pas le choix que de rester sur cet écran pour le moment.
Get them taken off soon so we can carry on with the match. What's going on here? Yes.
La première censure de la soirée.
Very good. Take them away. Bloody wasters, absolute wasters.
Ouais, bah je fais ce que je peux. Hein.
Jog on! It's an absolute bloody.
Fait 3 fois là.
Okay, and now we're going to go into the final round. And of course, as it's a Tuesday, the final round is a mime round. Who could
Bataille de
believe it?
mime, d'accord.
Who could believe it? Nice imaginary shot there from Harris. It really could go anywhere at this point. Really high level play here from two
Aucun sens.
juggernauts of the sport. The bucket getting moved back to its proper place. About time, if you ask me. She's juggling it around from her hands. Interesting, juggling it around from her hands. And she's put it in her mouth like as if it was
Dans la
an egg.
bouche.
And now she's and she spat it out. She did the egg spit. So a wonderful move there, quite late on.
Illegal spit.
From Striker. But she's in it to win it. Harris's ball. On it like a car bonnet. On it like a car bonnet.
Voilà.
Tommy Harris here, having a bit of beef. Tommy Harris here, having a bit of beef. And he's peeling it as if it were a banana, which is an interesting move. Not sure if he hasn't had his potassium or what's going on today with Harris. And he's throwing it, and the banana was the ball! What a fantastic move there from Harris. Unfortunately, that is the end. What a pathetic, there we go.
Okay.
Is over. How how can he look his 8-year-old son in the face tonight? What a lump. We just have to wait for the referee
Il a
now to
perdu.
announce it to make sure it is all official.
Contestants in, please.
Ok.
And the winner of the first annual Sports Board Championship is
Ah ok, tout le monde a gagné.
Once again, a win for everyone, including me as my 15th win in the Sports Board Championship. I'm going to be celebrating tonight with my wife and children.
Alors question qui a rien à voir, comment on fait un sondage déjà? Y'a pas une option de sondage? Oh là.
And thanks again for watching the Sports Board Championships. What more is there to say? I'm Patrick Bannon. Looking forward to celebrating tonight.
Passe avec mes touches.
All that's left to say, Jeremy, is back to you in the studio.
Patrick Bannon there at an extraordinary final.
Historic sports board, Jeremy.
I didn't know you were a fan.
Yeah, I can wrench a doubler with the best of them, I'll have you know.
I certainly wouldn't bet against you.
When we come back, I'll be talking live with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement.
Il y a de l'orage en l'air.
Apparently have a big announcement you wouldn't want to miss.
That's coming up after these messages.
1 minute back.
Fucking microphone shocked me.
Ok, bon bah c'était pas exceptionnel. Hein.
Just shocked me.
J'ai prédiction mais pas sondage. Bizarre. Parce que moi normalement j'ai.
Everything okay?
Oh, the mics are just trying to kill us now, apparently.
You'll be fine. You're unshockable.
I'm immune to your
Bah je sais pas.
I'm wearing you down.
De toute façon tu voulais faire quel genre de sondage? Oh j'ai une note de B, oh. Bon tant pis. Elle était pas facile ce segment. Alors là faut que je fasse attention parce que là les touches vont être électrifiées à cause de l'orage. Voilà le bouton de censure. Chez Xela il y en avait besoin d'un. Attends, parce que moi normalement sur mon dashboard Attends, sur mon dashboard, attends, gérer la prédiction, gérer les sondages. Moi, je peux en créer un. Sur la vue de modérateur, il y a moyen ou pas? Ajouter des widgets. Ah, c'est peut-être ça. Attends. Ajouter des widgets. Afficher 9 de plus. Non. Attends. Sélection, demander. Liste de demandes, chuchotement, filmé. Bah, y a pas. Parce que moi, sur mon dashboard, j'ai. Mais c'est tout. Bah écoute, je sais pas. Je ne saurais te répondre. Laisse, si tu l'as, je dois l'avoir aussi, mais faut que je le trouve quoi. Bon, en tout cas, il n'y est pas sur mon écran de modération, mais sur mon dashboard. Et ouais. Je sais pas. Allez, ça va reprendre dans une dizaine de secondes. Ah, les présidents de Advance.
Welcome back. I am delighted to be joined by Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement. Welcome to the National Nightly News, Prime Ministers.
Oh, please, it's just Julia and Peter.
We don't believe much in titles. It doesn't seem very advanced.
We're delighted to be here.
Well, firstly, I should ask how you feel about the graffiti that's been springing
Ah, là,
up
c'est
across the
chiant.
capital. Should we be worried?
Oh, no, you definitely shouldn't be worried.
Well, not unless you've got a fatal paint allergy anyway.
But yes, it does seem that there are still some people we haven't been able to help.
You know, whinges most.
People who've yet to benefit from the many advantages of the new future.
Parce que tu voulais faire un sondage ou là ou...
Mum used to say, there are some pissants who just don't know how to be happy.
We're working hard to reach these people, find out what they're angry about and how we...
Ah, c'est vrai que j'avais mis un truc de point de chaîne lié au sondage je crois, il me semble. Sondage modérateur, je crois.
But we didn't come here to talk about what may yet turn out to be some alternative arts project.
Which we no doubt will have funded.
When we want to talk to the nation about something far more exciting.
Yes, your office briefed us that you have an announcement to make, but they were
J'ai chaud.
surprisingly secretive about it.
Let me ask you a question, Megan.
Okay, it's not usually how it works, but...
What scares you? I mean, really scares you?
It's death. He's talking about death.
C'est vrai que je redoute la mort.
It's part of being human.
Sorry, are you saying that advance have cured death?
That'll be a vote winner. Yep, that was definitely a drop there.
But while we may not
Ah,
have
t'as
caused
ta goutte,
death,
toi.
we hope we found a way to make it much less scary.
And much less painful and much less expensive. Look,
Comment ça?
just me close up, camera. there. When I was 13, my mum came and got me from school. He had to go to the hospital. My granddad, he'd collapsed that morning. So we'd all to say our goodbyes. And I went in to see him. We were all frail and pale. I was scared because I'd only seen him the week before and he'd been fit as fiddle. And he said to me, Peter, he said, it's the right time. I don't ever want to be a burden to the people I love.
Was that the last time you saw him?
Nope, 3 days later he were back home. He lived with us for 9 miserable years after that. He had to be
Il était censé nous parler de sa mort.
He had a commode, so he'd just take a shit right there in the lounge while we were watching football.
C'était chaud.
He wouldn't even wait till half time.
That sounds...
It was awful. It was awful for us, and this is the point. It were awful for him. He could see it was destroying me, man, watching the slowly fade away.
Merde. Je vais faire le grand plan.
Beg her to turn off his breathing equipment at night, but she couldn't, or she wouldn't. It were a crime, you see. And she didn't want to lose the children, as well as her old man.
No family should have to suffer like Peter's did. And now no family will have to. The health service is today opening the first of 300 new transition centres.
The transition centres will handle everything for your last days. The legal,
J'essaie de me concentrer en même temps sur leur texte pour voir les conneries qu'ils peuvent dire.
and paid for by the government. So even the poorest citizen gets to pass on with dignity when they choose.
And that choice is important. This is a service only for people who choose it. For people who feel they run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline.
Oula. Oh la longue censure.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I think it's from my asshole.
Are you still on the air, Peter?
Yes, sorry, my apologies.
Il a dit trou de balle.
Are you not worried that this new system might be open to abuse?
In what way?
Sorry, I've got a sapkin. Can I get a little bit of help here?
Vache.
That the older generation might feel somewhat...
Oh la longue censure. Oh, je veux voir ça.
That the older generation might feel somewhat coerced.
Coerced into spending their final days eating gourmet food and drinking fine wine and luxury spas and gardens.
Look, I am perfectly capable of... with a rusty twat!
Prime Minister, please watch your language.
Ah.
Go get yourself sorted out.
Right.
We're launching a government information film tonight. It should tell your viewers everything they need to know.
You really do move at a breathless pace. It's hard to believe you've yet to be in office a year.
Oh, Megan, we're only getting started.
And on that note, thank you so much for being here. Jeremy.
Right, yes, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank yous go out to our guests. Congratulations to all the winners at the Sports Board final.
Allez, dernière coupure pub.
Tomorrow night at the same time. My name is Jeremy Donaldson. If you can, have a peaceful night.
Oula.
Good job, everybody.
Je Je crois que je vais me prendre une décharge.
I don't suppose there's any way this could be a good thing.
It's for my nephew, so we transitioned the moment I start the leak.
Note de segment A+. Séquence A+, ouais. Indice de diffusion A. Oh. Plus d'infos. Toutes les grossièretés ont été censurées. Une émission sans interférence. Un montage formidable. Ouais, bon, il y a juste au milieu, là, avec les tétés, les zouzous, c'était compliqué. Attends, du coup. Non, chez Xela et aussi pour apprendre. Ok, ok. Et je sais pas pourquoi. Je sais pas. Bon, t'as pas. Ouais, je sais pas. Pourquoi t'as pas d'option pour. Je sais pas. Je ne saurai peut-être jamais. Voilà. Vous avez reçu un petit bonus. Fortune actuelle. Cap sur les vacances. Let's go. Let's go les parts. C'est pour moi. Le pognon. Ok. Je suis toujours bien aimé du patron, c'est bon. Attends, je veux juste voir la dernière séquence. On va juste s'arrêter sur la dernière séquence avec les nombreuses censures et je pense qu'on va s'arrêter pour ce soir.
Where Patrick Bannon will be taking a look at the surprising rise of this spectacularly popular new sport. That's followed by a repeat of the live National Sports Board final at 7:30 p.m.
Je veux voir la dernière séquence. Mais franchement, j'adore ce jeu. J'adore ce jeu parce qu'ils assument leur connerie à fond. Là, ils ont même changé le générique. Bah, je pense que c'est parce qu'on a changé d'année, du coup ils ont changé la DA. Attends, je veux voir ce qui s'était passé à la fin que j'étais pas attentif.
Do you think your parents will ever really love you again?
Right, that's it. Enough. Come on,
I'm happy, Mr. Tedlock.
Ah ouais, d'accord. Alors par contre, je suis désolé, mais c'est pas Chi-Hulk non plus. C'est lui qui s'est jeté tout seul là, je suis désolé. Ah oui, c'était n'importe quoi ça. Je vois personne de tout nu. Ok. On avance, on avance. Tout le monde a gagné, bravo, félicitations. Même moi j'ai gagné. Voilà. On va juste revoir cette séquence.
Oh, please, it's just Julia and Peter.
We don't believe much in titles. It doesn't seem very
Je veux juste voir le montage de qualité.
To be here.
Well, firstly, I should ask how you feel about the graffiti that's
Everyone
been
win.
up across the capital.
And I win by doing absolutely nothing.
No, you definitely shouldn't be worried.
Well, not unless you've got a fatal paint allergy anyway.
But yes, it does seem that there are still some people we haven't been able to help.
You know, whingers mostly.
People who've yet to benefit from the many advantages of the new future.
And you know, Megan, as my old mum used to say, there are some who just don't know how to be happy.
We're working hard to reach these people, find out what they're angry about and how we can help. The door to my government is always open.
Someone's dripping on me.
Quelque chose me goutte dessus qui
come
dit.
here to talk about what may yet turn out to be some alternative arts projects.
Which we no doubt will have funded.
When we want to talk to the nation about something far more exciting.
Yes, your office briefed us that you have an announcement to make, but they were being surprisingly secretive about it.
Let me ask you a question, Megan.
Oh, okay, it's not usually how it works, but...
What scares you? I mean, really scares you?
It's death.
Le monteur, il a fait un montage de qualité, je crois.
We're all afraid of our deaths. It's part of being human.
Sorry,
Are you saying that Advance have cured death?
That'll be a vote winner. Yep, that was definitely a drop there.
But while we may not have cured death, we hope we found a way to make it much less scary.
And much less painful and much less expensive. Look, which is me close up?
Oui, on se demande qui est cet incroyable monteur, c'est fou, hein.
When I was 13, my mum came and got me from school.
Mais ce que j'aime bien, c'est que ça donne vraiment un cachet réaliste, le fait que ce soit toi-même qui fasse ces changements de plan. Je trouve qu'ils ont géré de ouf, hein. Et le fait que tu puisses revoir ce que tu as fait, je trouve ça incroyable en vrai. C'est incroyable. Et tu peux même faire exprès de faire de la merde, juste pour le plaisir et revoir ta merde.
Was that the last time you saw him?
No, 3 days later we were back home. He lived with us for 9 miserable years.
C'est pour ça que j'adore ce jeu. C'est un FMV qui a su réinventer le genre.
So he just take a right there in the lounge while we were watching football. He wouldn't even wait till half time.
That sounds.
It was awful. It were awful for us, and this is the point. It were awful for him.
Et d'ailleurs, même les moments où, par exemple, l'écran est parasité, c'est retranscrit dans les diffusions si jamais tu te foires. C'est vraiment bien fichu.
But she couldn't, or she wouldn't. It were a crime, you see. And she didn't want to lose the children, as well as her old man.
No family should have to suffer like Peter's did. And now no family will have to. The health service is today opening the first of 300 new transition centres.
The transition centres will handle everything for your last days. The legal, financial, medical and emotional costs are all catered for and paid for by the government. So even the poorest citizen gets to pass on with dignity when they choose.
And that choice is important. Yes. This is a service only for people who choose it. For people who feel they run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline.
La mort, un sujet sensible quand même.
This microphone pack has just given me a
Je me suis fait surprendre par la censure.
I don't know, I think it fried me.
Oh, we're still on the air, Peter.
Yes, sorry, my apologies. Oh.
Are you not worried that this new system might be open to...
Dommage qu'il n'y avait pas les éclairs à ce moment-là.
Sorry, I got zapped again. Can I get a little bit of help here, please?
That the older generation might feel somewhat...
Sauf qu'en plus, il se prend des gouttes d'eau, lui.
That one was massive. Right, no, this coming off.
That the older generation might feel somewhat coerced.
Coerced into spending their final days eating gourmet food and drinking fine wine and luxury spas and gardens.
Look, I am perfectly capable of... my grandmother with a rusty...
Minister, please watch your language.
For fuck's sake!
Go get yourself sorted out.
Right.
We're launching a government information film tonight. It should tell your viewers everything they need to
J'adore
know.
cette séquence.
You really do move at a breathless pace. It's hard to believe you've yet to be in office a year.
Il faut dire que là, je devais gérer en plus l'électricité sur les commandes, hein. C'est fou.
And on that note,
Monsieur n'est pas très poli. Ah bon?
for being here. Jeremy.
Right, yes, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank yous go out to our guests.
Il n'avait pas l'air d'aller bien sur cette séquence.
All the winners at the Sports Board final, and we'll see you tomorrow night at the same time. My name is Jeremy Donaldson. If you can, have a peaceful night.
Eh ben voilà. Et ben franchement, j'adore ce jeu.